Hi, Ash.
Hi, Kelly. How are you?
Okay, how are you? I'm still trying to figure out how to make you bigger. And
So there should be a little option if you hold your mouse or your finger, it depends on what you're using, an iPad. So there should be like a little right next to where it says mute on my screen and then 3 little dots. If you click on the 3 little dots, it should give you an option to pin my video. And then that will make it full screen for you without it switching back and forth if anybody comes in and turns their mic on.
I have choices when I hit those 3 dots. I have choices of chat, meeting settings, minimize meeting, virtual background, or raised hand.
Is this, so try is that just the 3 little dots? I don't know where that is on an iPad, but mine is on my actual, if you hover over my actual little window, my little feed.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let me try that. So I go over your window. Okay, now let's see. No, I don't see that. Let's try.
Pin video.
Pin. I'm looking. Share screen?
No, that'll share your computer screen. Let's see. It should be pin video, and if you go to, is there something that says gallery view or speaker view?
Let's try hitting more again. How about meeting settings? I'm going to try that.
Yeah, that. Or it might even be window settings.
Show self view, show name. No, it's not meeting settings. Oh, well, I'll live with it the way it is. I'm sorry.
Well, usually the person who is speaking is the one that comes up as in video. So if we are all muted except for me, it should primarily be me. But I need to look at it on an iPad. After tonight, I'll get on an iPad and see what is going on with it. And then maybe I'll have another answer for you. How are we feeling tonight? Any requests, anything going on that we want to avoid? Yeah.
I don't know, my thigh feels a little tight right now, but that's might be right now. I don't know.
Okay, that's definitely good to know. I was planning on doing more slow-paced kind of deep stretch class tonight. Nothing like yin. We're not going to be holding things for a terribly long time, but definitely getting into some hips, hamstrings, and shoulders. So if anything comes up, feel free to jump in and let me know. Just turn your mic on at any point and be like, hey, what can I do to take this pain away or get deeper in here? And I'll answer you however I can. So let's go ahead and get started in a reclined bound angle, which will get right into the hips immediately. So you'll want to come onto your back, your feet together, your knees out. I know I'm kind of disappearing a little bit.
Can you angle your camera? Seems to be a little.
Is it too high?
Yeah.
Down there. Yep, there we go. And over here a little bit. Yeah. So feet together, knees out, there we go, and come to lie on your back. And if you would love to get into the shoulders right away, You can mimic what the legs are doing, taking the back of one hand and the palm of the other overhead. If that feels like too much, hands on the hips or out by the sides. And then really bring your awareness into what's going on with your hips. So if you're feeling really tight in the thighs and the hips, send your heels down away from you a little bit. It will take the intensity out of this shape. We won't be here for a terribly long time. So just do what feels good in this pose, this shape. And you can try a few options, because once we've found that sweet spot that feels really good in our bodies, we're just going to hang out for a few moments to settle in. So let your eyes close. And then just for a moment, squeeze your eyes really tightly closed and then release that. It can help us find that space across the brow. Wiggle some tension out of the back of the jaw. Maybe take your tongue and run it between the top and bottom row of your back teeth. If it feels okay, give your head a little shake side to side. And then we'll settle into our stillness. Noticing the breath, not changing anything just yet, but noticing the pace, the depth. And then all together, we'll take a deep breath in through the nose and a slow exhale from the mouth. Do that again, deep breath in through the nose. Slow exhale, like you're blowing out a candle. One more of those, deep breath in. Big sigh, let it go. Keep that smooth, even breath. So you might just want to count for a few rounds, in through the nose for 3, out through the mouth for 3. Or maybe not, maybe you can just feel it out. But we want to keep our inhales and exhales really smooth, really even. And as we settle into this slow, smooth breath, start to do a little scan of the body and notice how you can direct your exhales to those places that are still really squeezing tight. Let go of the whole of last week. I was going to say the whole week, but it's just Monday. Time seems to run together these days. So letting go of all of that and really bringing yourself to the right here, right now, this moment, how you feel physically, energetically, emotionally, all those little puzzle pieces that make up our being. Taking these first few moments and really your whole practice to be really honest about the experience that you're having, how you feel, and let that direct how you move through. And if your hands are overhead, we'll release them down so that we can bring our hands to the outer thighs and help guide our knees together. And that might feel really intense, so be gentle with yourself there. Once your feet are on the floor, a little windshield wipering of the knees. And then let's bring our arms out to cactus arms. So bent at the elbows and in line with the armpits. Press down into your feet and we'll send the hips. So pick up your hips and bring them over to the right side of the mat. Let your knees come down to the left. Rolling to the outer edges of both feet And if it feels okay, turn your face to the right. Really gentle twist here. If this could be more gentle, if you're feeling like this isn't a gentle twist, walk your feet further away, and that'll take the intensity out of it. And let's bring our knees back up to the sky, feet on the floor. Pick up your hips, send them over to the left side of your mat, and then let both knees release down to the right. If it feels okay, turn your head to the left and hold here. And let's bring the knees back up. Press down into the feet, bring your hips back to the center of the mat, and then hug both knees into your chest. It's giving a little rock on the lower back, side to side, or maybe circling it out to get deeper into the quads. Then we'll rock vertically on the spine to come up to sit. And you can take a few rolls if that's feeling really good. I know a little spine massage can feel really nice. If you do have blankets or pillows handy, I always find that sitting up on some kind of height really helps you feel less tension in the lower back. So if your lower back is feeling a little angry or irritated, find a pillow or blanket just to sit up an inch or so. And make sure you sit up on the edge of it so that your pelvis is tilting forward and we take a lot of that arch out of the low back. Hands somewhere along the thighs as you arrive, and take your time to get there, because we're just going to spend a moment settling into our seat. One of the main purposes of yoga is to be able to sit comfortably in a cross-legged seat for meditation. So starting that way can feel a little tight, can feel a little sticky, a little tight. So take a moment and take your hands, massage into the thighs, roll the shoulders, rock the head around, and then start to settle in. Again, softly closing the eyes, relax the jaw. Loop the shoulders up, back, and down. Keep this shape. So the chest is kind of puffed out here, but we're going to think about our rib cage hugging back towards the spine. So the shoulders are still drawing back, but we're not overarching. I'll turn to the side to demonstrate that. We start overarched and then we pull it back in so that we're not sending our shoulders way, way back, but we still have that drop down. The shoulders are back. Ribs are pulled in. We're going to bring our chin all the way to our chest. That should feel like a nice, lovely stretch along the back of the neck. And we're going to inhale right ear to right shoulder. Pause here. Relax the left shoulder. Don't let it creep up towards the ear. We're still thinking a lot of space across the chest, a lot of heaviness in the back body, a little bit of core engagement so that we don't overarch. Right hand comes down to the floor. Left arm is going to lift up and over. Your palm is facing the floor. The heel of that right hand can find the mat if it reaches. If not, no problem. Stay up on the fingertips. But we want to think long length here. So same thing as when we were seated. We don't want that shoulder creeping up towards the ear. We want to give ourselves a lot of space. And we'll reach the left hand straight up to the sky. Inhale. Exhale, bring it back to center. Loop the shoulders, tuck the chin. Left ear rolls to left shoulder, pause. Finding that length on the right side of the neck, heaviness in the right shoulder. Left hand to the mat, right arm up and over, palm facing the mat. Even if it's not completely directly over the mat. If your arm is up here, you still want that palm to turn down. And you want to just find a lift up through the right rib cage. Lots of space between the shoulder and the ear. And that left ear is still reaching towards the left shoulder. Right hand reaches all the way up to the sky. Inhale. Exhale, press it down. Let it carry you back to center. Hands meet at heart center and really press the palms, line the elbows up with the wrists, lift the heart to the thumbs, a lot of space in the chest and a little bit of work behind the shoulder blades. We'll bow our heads and begin our practice with the vibration of Om one time, symbolizing the beginning, middle, and end of everything. Inhale fully to receive the breath. Exhale completely, empty out. We'll inhale for Om. Om. Release the hands. We'll come to tabletop. If you're working in a place that isn't really padded up and would love to keep this blanket under the knees, feel free to pad up. Knees under hips, wrists under shoulders, and then take a moment to peek between the knees and make sure you don't see your heels. A lot of the time we just sort of forget our feet in tabletop. So really think about lengthening through the top of the foot and bringing the heels behind the knees. Press the floor away, eyes between the thumbs. Inhale, sink the belly, lift the face, cow pose. Exhale, press down, round the spine, tuck the chin, cat pose. Inhale, belly sinks, spine arches, coming back into cow. Exhale, rounding into cat, press into the fingertips. Keep this moving with your own breath. And if you would love to add any other movements, feel free. Maybe a rock back and forth or a little hip shift side to side. But keep the arching and rounding going. Moving with the breath. We'll do 3 more rounds, just back to regular cat-cow. So taking any excess movement out. Being aware of the feet and really rooting down through the tops of the feet, the toenails. The next time you round into cat pose, stay there. We'll walk the hands, one hand print forward, tuck your toes, and then send those hips up and back, downward facing dog. Keep your knees nice and bent, and then just start to pedal out the feet. So starting with very, very bent knees, stretching through the hamstrings very carefully, very slowly. Look back towards your toes. We'll bend back into both knees. Lift the heels way up. Start to straighten the legs, sending those hips high. And then exhale, release the heels down towards the floor, even if they don't reach. 3 breaths here. One more inhale. Exhale, knees come back to the mat. Climb the wrists back under the shoulders. Hug the ribs to the back body. Eyes between the thumbs. We'll reach the right leg back, tuck the toes on the mat, and press the heel away. Roll to the pinky toe edge of that right foot, and that'll help drop the hip down to line up with the left. Once you feel that hip drop down, pull your lower belly up towards your back body. So just sucking in your low belly and then turn that heel back to the sky. Keep that engagement in the lower belly. Root down through the top of the left foot. Pick the right foot up and point your toes. Inhale here. Exhale, knee rounds towards the nose. Or again, inhale, reach back, point the toes behind you. Exhale, knee rounds toward the nose. One more time, inhale, reach it back. We'll exhale, bring that foot all the way forward and walk it a little bit more forward so that the knee is over the ankle. Once we have found this version of low lunge, let's climb the hands to the top of our thighs. A little bit of testing on the balance here. So think about your right hip pulling back and then press down into the top of the left foot. If it feels okay, you can start to straighten the elbows here, a little lift in the chest, nothing too crazy. Anchor down through the entire right foot. One more inhale. Exhale, fold it forward. Frame the front foot with both hands. Tuck your left toes, press that heel back, and we'll lift the left knee off the floor. One more inhale here. Exhale, downward facing dog. Right foot steps back. Shake your head yes. Shake your head no. Let's roll it forward, high plank, top of a push-up. Exhale, lower all the way down to the mat. Untuck the toes, loop the shoulders up and back, baby cobra. Exhale, chin tucks, move through tabletop, and we'll reset for the other side. Wrist climbing under the shoulders, knees under the hips. Take a moment, shift it out, maybe cat-cow or just shaking your head. And we'll set up for the other side. So starting with this strong core, ribs up to the spine. We really, when we come into our tabletop, we really tend to sag in the middle. So I always like to start with bringing it up, and that's gonna help everything else. Left foot reaches back, tuck the toes on the mat, and then we'll send the pinky toe edge of the left foot down. That pulls the left hip in line with the right. Lock it in, navel to spine. Right heel turns back up to the sky. Pick up the foot, point the toes. Inhale here. Exhale, round it, knee to nose. Press down into both hands. Inhale, lengthen through the left leg. Exhale, knee to nose. One more time, reach back, deep breath in. Exhale, step it all the way forward. And it's very rare, unless we're like really heavily in practice, to land with your foot or your ankle rather underneath your knee. So take a look and line it up the best you can. Knee over ankle, root down into the left foot, climb your hands on up to the left thigh. And find that loop back from the shoulders, but then hug the ribs in. Everything nice and strong here. Press into the thigh, and if it feels okay, straighten the arms. If that feels like way too much in any part of your back, just keep them bent. Okay, we're not pushing ourselves further than we need to today. Really thinking about sending love into hips, hamstrings, and shoulders. One more inhale. Exhale, frame the front foot. Tuck the right toes, press that heel back to lift the knee up. We'll take a nice little hamstring stretch here. And as you're ready, step it back. Downward facing dog. Lead here with the heels lifting and let that roll through your body. High plank, top of a push-up. Exhale, lower it all the way down to the mat. Untuck the toes, roll the shoulders up and back, baby cobra. We'll exhale through tabletop, to child's pose. So take your knees out nice and wide. Your big toes can finally come and hang out together. If you want a more active version, which we'll get into your shoulders a bit more, keep the arms forward. If the shoulders are tired or just not having it today, cross the forearms, rest the forehead. 5 deep breaths here. Know that you can come back to this shape anytime you need to take a break or a moment. If the arms are not already forward, go ahead and reach them. Root into all 10 fingertips. Peel yourself back. Tuck your toes. Lift your hips. We're back to down dog. If you have a blanket on the mat, you can send it away now. You won't need it for a while. Shake your head, yes. Shake your head, no. Soften those knees again. Look between your thumbs. Let's take a slow walk forward. And fold at the top of your mat. Coming into your ragdoll. Feet at least 2 fists of distance apart. Send your weight towards your toes, and you could take opposite elbows here or wrists to get heavier. You could find stability with your hands to the backs of your thighs or fingertips on the floor. Or you could interlace your hands all the way behind the back if the shoulders would love that. Stillness or movement, a little swaying side to side. But keep your weight towards your toes without lifting your heels. It's going to help lengthen the hamstrings, even if that means softly bending into the knees. We want everything coming forward. Release anything that you're holding on to. Let the arms dangle, let them be heavy. We'll bend the knees, scoop the tailbone forward, and roll it up nice and slow. Coming all the way up to stand in Tadasana. Yeah. As you come into your Tadasana, and then you don't have to change positions, but I'll come face you. Your feet can stay where they are, hips distance, or you could bring the big toes together, or maybe the feet all the way together. But really, you just want to find a place that feels stable. So if you're coming to one shape and you're feeling a little wobbly, a little swayy, find something else with the feet. And then also bring your awareness to the back body. We want everything pointing down towards the floor, keeping that engagement in the low belly, arms heavy by the sides. Press down into the feet, sweep the arms up, inhale. Palms press overhead, exhale, fold forward, fingers lining up with toes, Uttanasana. Halfway lift, flat back here, eyes to the floor, send your weight towards your toes. Exhale, plant your palms, step it back, high plank, top of the push-up. We've lowered to the belly a few times today. You can keep that going, or as you exhale, lower halfway down, chaturanga. Inhale, scooping forward, coming to the tops of the feet, up dog. Exhale, over the toes, back to downward facing. And as we move through this practice, you can pick and choose your vinyasas, skip them when you need to, adjust as needed, always bringing the knees down if lowering all the way to the belly it seems too easy, and chaturanga seems like a lot of work. Inhale, lift onto the balls of both feet. Exhale, knees bend, eyes forward. Travel to the top of your mat, walk, step, or hop. Halfway lift as you land. Fold it forward, exhale. Anchor through the feet, reach the arms out and up. Inhale. Right into the next one, fold it forward. Halfway lift, inhale. Plant your palms, step back, lower down, your choice. Inhale, scooping it forward, baby cobra or up dog. Exhale, over the toes, hips lift, back to downward facing. Pause here. In through the nose, out through the mouth. 2 more just like that. One more time. Right leg lifts back and up. Point the toes, reach through the foot. Exhale, knee to nose. Step your foot between your thumbs. Stay on the ball of the back foot. We'll climb the hands to the front thigh, back to our lunge. And if this seems, again, like a lot of work, you can always release that back knee down. Holding, straightening the elbows. And then we'll sweep the arms overhead. If the knee is down, lift it up. We're gonna bring the left heel to the mat, warrior 1. So the front heel and the back heel line up. That means that back foot's at a bit of an angle. If it feels a little stiff in the hips, widen your feet like 1 floorboard's width of space. Left hip comes forward, right hip presses back, but keep that bend in the front knee. And then bring your hands behind your back and interlace your fingers. Straighten the front knee. Left hip still coming forward. We're gonna fold here over the front foot. Reach back through the knuckles, forward through the top of the head. One more inhale. One more exhale. Inhale, come all the way up, rebend the front knee, warrior 2. Warrior 1, sorry, jumping ahead of myself. Hands of heart center. We open to the left. Now we're in warrior 2. Jumping ahead of myself here. The feet will adjust. Front heel now to the back arch, lining up. And that back foot's a bit more parallel to the short end of the mat. Reach through the fingertips, press into both feet. Front palm up and back, radiant warrior. Still bend deep into the front knee. Exhale, cartwheel the hands down. Frame the front foot. Vinyasa or back to your down dog. As you arrive, left leg lifts back and up. Reach through the top of the foot, point the toes, inhale. Exhale, step it forward. Stay on the ball of the back foot, climb your hands slowly to the front thigh. Really press back through that right heel and line the hips up. So again, right hip comes forward, left hip tugs back a bit, ribs hug into the chest. We'll inhale, arms up by the ears. Exhale, right heel comes down, warrior 1, Virabhadrasana 1, and then you can adjust your feet here, widening your stance if that makes this a bit more accessible, and it usually does. So don't feel like you're cheating or you're taking the easy route. If you widen your feet, it's really more of an anatomy thing and a balance thing, and it's totally normal. Press down into both feet, line those hips up, hug the ribs in. Swim your hands behind your back. Put the opposite thumb on top, and you'll know it because you'll feel a little awkward. Drop the wrists or the knuckles down, and we'll fold forward. One more inhale and exhale. Inhale, bring it back up, bend into the front knee, arms sweep up by the ears. Warrior one, hands at heart center. We'll open to the right, adjusting the feet. Warrior two. Front heel lines up with the back arch. Fingertips reach, shoulders drop down, ribs hug in. Front palm up and back, radiant warrior. Big breath in here. Exhale, cartwheel the hands down, frame the front foot, vinyasa or down dog. Shake your head yes. Shake your head no. Reach your right leg back and up. Knee towards your nose, step your foot between your thumbs. Right into warrior two this time, so that back heel drops down, cartwheel the arms up, warrior two. Yeah, arms out to a T, forward facing over the front middle finger, so that's the right middle finger. Front palm up and back, radiant warrior. Keep reaching back, we'll straighten that front knee. Turn your front palm, that's the one on top right now, up towards the sky, and then press it back down, arms to a T. Send your left hip out like you're gonna close a door with it, and then reach your right fingers forward to bring it down to your thigh or your shin, or all the way down to the ankle, anywhere except for the knee. We don't wanna put pressure on the knee at all. Coming to triangle pose. So again, if this is feeling really intense, bring it up to the thigh. Start to fall back on that top shoulder a bit, eyes up to the top thumb. Just one more breath in here. Exhale, frame the front foot. A little bit of a bend in this front knee. We're gonna step the back foot just one footprint forward and point those back toes towards the top of the mat. It's almost like a little tightrope walk. We can send the left hip more forward. And then if you feel okay with it, you can start to straighten the front knee, but don't straighten it so much that you're feeling like you're locking it back. Working into the hamstrings and the hips, relax your chin towards your chest. Deepen the bend in your front knee. We'll step the left foot back into a lunge and then flow through your vinyasa or breathe in your down dog. Meeting back in down dog. One more side to go, left leg up and back. Exhale, step it forward. Right heel down, we'll cartwheel the hands up, warrior two. And I'm gonna turn, just so that I'm not turning my back on you. Front heel lines up with the back arch. Reach through the fingers, keep them nice and wide, really energetic fingers. And maybe we'll forget about the front thigh. So press down in both feet. Front palm up and back, radiant warrior, big breath in. Keep reaching back, straighten the front knee. Bring that left arm back out, arms to a T, and then we'll set up our triangle pose. Right hip comes out first, left fingers reach forward. Bring it down, thigh, calf, ankle, right arm up to the sky. Utthita Trikonasana triangle pose. Expand in all directions here. Feet anchor through the floor, fingers reach up to the sky, left hand reaching down to the ground. One more inhale. Exhale, frame the front foot. A little bend in the front knee so that we can step the back foot in and turn those toes forward. And then maybe if it feels okay, both feet on the floor, we'll straighten through the front leg. Send the left hip back and the right hip forward. Knee towards your nose, even though it might not reach, it probably won't, but that's okay. Breathing into the left hamstring. Bend into the left knee, step the right foot back into a lunge, press back through the left heel, and then option one final vinyasa, or make your way back to down dog. From here, bring those knees down, hips to the heels, back to your child's pose. Don't take the knees out quite as wide this time. They don't have to completely touch, but keep them less wide than before. So not as wide as the mat, because we're going to go into some side stretching. So let's walk the hands to the right and stretch through the left side. And we'll walk the hands back through center and over to the left. And let's bring the hands back to center and make your way onto your belly. So I'm going to bring my camera down a little bit so that I'm not completely disappearing. That should make things easier. Okay. And meet me, on your belly. Cross your forearms, rest your forehead, pick up your feet, and windshield wiper the knees. Tops of the feet come down, and just wiggle the hips onto the mat a little more. So that could mean walking the feet back a bit, or just kind of settling in. And we're going to come up onto the forearms for Sphinx pose, but we're not going to stay here. Okay, so elbows to the floor, wrists in line with elbows. Take a moment here just to get those hips really onto the mat. So again, you could walk the feet back even more from here. We've been doing a lot of work in the hips and hamstrings today. We're going to move it up to the quads. Right hand travels towards the left wrist. So we're just making a little diagonal with the right hand for support. Bend the left knee, reach the left hand back. So this right hand is now a really good stabilizer. So we've maybe found the left foot. Maybe you use a towel or a t-shirt to find it, or maybe you grab hold of your pant leg. That's fine too. Work to send the left hip point back onto the mat, and then gently pull the heel close into the glute. 3 breaths here. One more. Very gently release. And we'll set up the other side. The left elbow comes down, and then we send the left hand towards the right wrist, just for support. Right knee bends. Right hand reaches back for the right foot. And again, if you don't quite reach, you could use anything that's strap-like, a belt, a t-shirt, a towel, anything you can loop around that foot and grab hold of. And we're gonna reach the right hip point back to the mat and pull that glute heel in close to the glute. And release, nice and slow. We don't want to slingshot it. Bring your forearms down, bring the forehead to rest, and shift the hips side to side, or windshield wiper those knees. And then we'll make our way onto our backs. your time. Get there however it feels comfortable. If that means coming up a little bit, readjusting. And I want to bring the feet to the floor, knees pointing up. Hands by the sides, palms turn down. And as soon as we do that, the shoulders might want to lift up. So then I really like to take a moment to tuck my shoulders underneath so that shoulders, feet, and hands are really the most rooted points of my body. So everything might lift up a little bit in the middle here, and that's okay because we're going to lift it up anyway. Press into your feet and inhale your hips to the sky, bridge pose. 3 breaths here. Come on down with your exhale. Send the knees side to side. And we will do that one more time, holding a little longer. And if you would love to go deeper, I'll invite you to interlace your hands underneath your back once it's up to the sky. So pressing into your feet, we'll inhale the hips on up. If it feels okay, find those hands and tuck the shoulders in a bit more. 5 breaths this time. One more inhale. Exhale, bring it down. Shift to the knees. And then we will hug both knees into the chest and set up for a deeper twist, a deeper variation of the twist we did at the beginning of practice. So let's bring those arms out to cactus arms, elbows bent, wrists in line with elbows, and we'll send the knees to the left. Getting a deeper twist. If it feels okay, turn your face to the right. And then with one fluid movement, we'll inhale, knees back to the chest, and exhale them to the other side. It feels okay, turning your face away from your bent knees and breathing here. And knees back into the chest. Let's hug, keep the right knee in, and then release the left foot to the floor. We'll cross right ankle on left knee and find a figure 4. If you'd love to go deeper, and this is going to be really deep into the quad and the hip, you can hug the left knee in and interlace your hands behind the left thigh. As much as possible, relax your shoulders down to the mat and tuck your chin towards your chest so we have a long neck. Beautiful. Left foot comes down. We'll bring the right foot to the floor. A little shifting as you reset. Left ankle to right knee. And then to go deeper, we'll hug the right knee in, hands behind the thigh. And let's release the right foot and the left foot. A little windshield wiper to reset. And then we'll just roll through one side and press our way up to sit. Back to our bound angle. Feet together, knees out. And we're going to take this the other way. So we started in reclining bound angle. We're going to take a forward fold here. If you have that blanket handy, it's always a good idea in forward fold land to bring a blanket under the hips so that our pelvis tilts forward. And we'll bring our hands to our feet, maybe pressing into the arches just to give a little massage here, signaling everything else to release. And then we'll take a really relaxed forward fold. Chin tucking all the way into the chest. Feel it all the way up into the shoulders. Targeting the shoulders, the low back, and the hips and thighs here. And then we're going to take the shoulders out of it and really, you'll feel this stretch move from the top body down into that root center. So let's reach through the tips of the ears. Think like a turtle poking its head out of its shell. And you'll feel that intensity deepen in the hips and thighs. If that feels like too much, round it in again. And it's always good to know, and I love coming into this shape this way so that we can feel the difference and we can really feel the limits of what our body is into doing right now. It's a way to control your stretch. We'll start to round in again, really arching and or rolling those shoulders forward, tucking the chin, and then roll it up nice and slow, one vertebra at a time. Bring the legs out long and take a moment to do that. They can be a little stiff after coming out of bound angle. Move your glutes out of the way so that you're sitting as forward as possible. Again, if you're up on a height, a blanket, sit more towards the edge so that we have this tilted pelvis already happening. If we sit in the middle of it, it's just going to be a seat. And then flex your feet. Deep flex in both feet. Should feel this all the way up the hamstrings. Arms shoot up by the ears, nice and tall. Inhale. Exhale, hinge from the hips. Reach for your toes. You might not reach your toes. Your hands might come to your shins, and that's totally fine. Even the knees here, as long as we're not putting pressure. We don't want to push down. So if you're on your knees, think about lifting up from the torso. If you found your feet, you can work to bring the heels of the feet towards the balls of the feet. Keep flexing. And then round into the shoulders and roll it on up. Okay. One more hip stretch, and it's going to be a deep one, so prepare. I'm going to turn to face you. Yeah. So I'll just face you for this one. Let's hug the right knee in and then step the right foot over the left leg. Walk your right foot further to the left so that the knees are stacking, and this is stop one. So this is our first option. The second option would be to bring the left heel by the right hip. So check it out, try it out. If that seems like not the move, go back to that left leg out in front of you. But we want to get it to where we're pretty even between the heels. And I know one heel is going to come in closer than the other. You should feel a very deep stretch in the tops of the thighs. So again, stop one, leg out, Stop 2 is here with the knees crossed and the heels in. Stop 3 would be to gently take hold of the feet and fold it forward. And one more cycle of breath. Let's come on up. Hands behind your back so that you can lean back to unwind the legs and windshield wiper them out. And then we'll go to the other side. Right leg out, left knee hugs in, left foot steps over the right leg, left foot walks to the right. Stop 1. Stop 2, right heel comes in towards the left hip. Adjust, get centered here. It's not going to be one of those things that you just land in. So definitely feel free to adjust once we've found this weird twisted up pretzel-like shape. And then stop 3 would be hands to the feet and a soft forward fold. And then we'll come all the way back up. Hands behind the back to lean back and unwind. Shift it out. Take any final shapes, movements, like sequences that you might want before Shavasana, or come right onto your back, setting up for your Shavasana. And if you do find that your back is aggravated in Shavasana, laying on the floor, a really nice trick is to take this blanket or any blanket that you might have, roll it up and bring it behind the knees, which will give the hips just a little bit of an angle here to smooth out the lower back. And it can really make a huge difference. So hands wherever you like, out to your sides, maybe one on your heart, one on your belly, or on the hips. Find your Shavasana. And then squeeze your hands in the tight fist, squeeze your toes, squeeze your eyes, deep breath in. Big sigh, let it go. Begin to deepen your breath and invite small movements back into your body, wiggling fingers, toes, wrists, and ankles. And then reach your arms overhead, full body stretch to reawaken. Curl into a little ball on whichever side is your favorite right now. And taking your time to get there, build your way back to whatever seat is comfortable for you. As you make your way back to your seat, take some of that organic movement, roll the shoulders, twist it out, rock the head around, circle the wrists, whatever's calling to you. And then find your stillness. Relax the eyes, the jaw, the shoulders, the glutes. And take a deep breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Deep breath in. Big sigh and let it go. We'll seal our practice the way we began, joining sound, energy, and breath in the vibration of Om one time. Gather your hands at heart center, lift your heart to your thumbs, bow your head to your heart, and we'll inhale for Om. Bring the base of your thumbs to rest between your eyes and lift your gaze to invite wisdom in. Fold into yourself with gratitude for your practice. Namaste. Thank you all so much for practicing with me today. If you have any questions, let me know. Otherwise, I will be back next week.
Thank you.
Thanks, Ash.
Yep.
Have a good night.
You too.
Good night.
Bye.
Bye.